it's going to come down to who wins the jungle pick here for sure.
All right, Vox going to be the first ban taken away there by TSM. We'll see what Cloud9 is going to react with to this one, and it is going to be the Batiste. So both Grumpjaw and Baron available for both these teams, and let's bear in mind these two teams, they can play just about anything.
Yeah, and most likely TSM will tilt and take the... Oh, they're going to take Grace. I thought they were going to take the Baron instead, but unless they're going to... I guess they're prioritizing Grace over that Baron here.
I mentioned it a little bit last game, but Grace into Baron initially doesn't sound like a great idea because you're not really going to be able to stun him up. He should be able to rocket jump away, but once that rocket jump is on cooldown, he is a very easy target for the Grace to stun. It's the fastest movement speed versus the lowest movement speed in the game. So as long as you can wait for that jump jet, usually they're used to initiate a fight because you want to get that burst damage out. If you go in onto him afterward, it can do so much work, and that directional shield from the Retribution when he uses his jump jets. The way the directional shield works is that it stays facing the target. Yeah. And so no matter where he jumps to, that shield will be facing Baron and reducing damage.
So potentially a reactionary composition might well come out of TSM. What are you expecting as we head towards this next ban and the next picks?
I think TSM may take away Koshka, because if Koshka is left open, I think Cloud9 is going to pick it up with this Baron pick here. So I think Koshka may come out as a ban, or maybe even Grumpjaw. Oh, they're actually ban away the Lyra and deny Lyra. So I think Cloud9, because Koshka's open, yep, they're going to take Koshka here. And now TSM has Grumpjaw and Adagio, so they can run Adagio, Grumpjaw, and Grace, which is extremely strong, especially if it's a weapon Grumpjaw. So they have a lot of options, but I think this might be the best combo that TSM might go with here. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, and it's kind of the new version of that double heal comp as well, having Grace instead of the Lyra alongside the Grumpjaw. Grumpjaw will be locked in. There's the Adagio, absolutely. You called it.
Ouch. So Koshka is literally going to get blown up here. Early game, weapon Grumpjaw can go toe-to-toe with her. So now they need to pick Arden probably potentially here, or Kath maybe, or even Finn, but I don't know. It's a tricky draft, and I think TSM definitely want draft here because this early game just way too much early game from TSM here.
I love how you're comfortable to call that before the final pick has even come in here. It's just like, this is such a powerful comp that whatever is picked still just feels a little lackluster.
Yeah, well, with the Baron and Koshka especially, like it means your third pick is going to be your captain, and there just isn't really a captain that I can think of that would do enough impact against this composition.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised to see something like an Arden maybe, just because you'd be good to protect against the Grumpjaw, but yeah, you're absolutely right. Is it going to be enough? That is going to be the question asked as we head on into this game with TSM looking to have a very strong composition. So, is the story of this game then just going to be TSM early aggression and C9 trying to temper that?
Yeah, they have to not let Baron get to the late game here. They have two gap closers. Grace, especially when she maxes Benediction, it's a range 9. She can gap close onto Baron like this. Grumpjaw also has a gap closer. He has two gap closers actually. He can eat somebody. It's a lot going on for Cloud9 to worry about here. And as long as TSM wins the early and mid game and does not let Baron scale to the late game, they can take this game all the way for sure. So I think TSM is going to take this away because they obviously want draft.
Bacon?
Yeah, I definitely think TSM just have a far superior composition. It's just going to be about making sure that they execute and keep their focus all the way throughout. But because they're against Cloud9, I don't see focus being an issue for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Focus is going to have to be at a pinnacle for both of these teams. We'll see whether Cloud9 can last out the early game or whether TSM are going to roll this snowball to a victory. Let us know who you are supporting. The two most popular American teams going head-to-head. Hashtag Vainglory8 is the hashtag, but let's pass it over to our casters for our grand final.
That is right. Hashtag Vainglory8. Guys, get out there. Tweet. Let us know how much you love Munch Bowls as well. But Kieran, there are few games that I get excited for as like a matchup between TSM and C9. When we're sitting here in the lobby, it is just pure anticipation.
Okay, Bizzle going for an aggressive move here. FlashX going to try and catch him out. Keep Bizzle versus Flash. Flash with the weapon blade as well. Oh, this is so close.
Captain on captain, dude. Gabe's got the aggro, and he's going to get the heal. Oh, he's got the boots too. Look at him. What a player. I mean, who can make those plays? Joseph's going to be here. He gets that Vanguard. Gabe gives him that sweet Vanguard. It's just efficient farming here as Joseph's going to go ahead and take the fronts. Flash will move forward, though. Continues. Hits him with that Benediction. and should be able to get himself out of here. Flash will still have his boots if he continues to play games, but this does mean that Von C gets a clean rotation and an easy level 2.
Yeah, I mean, he was both hitting level 2 there, I love Joseph and Von C at similar times, but FlashX will trade that duel with Gabe Vizzle to give Von C the Elder Tree in the mid, so small advantages to TSM here in the early game, and again, agree with the analysts, good way to shut Joseph down in the jungle. This weapon Grumpjaw versus the CP Koshka. Grumpjaw will have a field day, and you can see I Love Joseph knows this matchup is bad for him. Already itemized into some light armor early on here, Humanist.
Oh yeah, definitely had some bad experiences with that one. Joseph knows exactly what's going on. I think Joseph's one of those guys that really understands the value of light armor, light shield more than almost anybody.
Yeah. I mean, it reduces damage by what, like 20% almost? I think Suije has the exact stat on the
20-25%, something like that.
Yeah, it's a pretty significant damage reduction for such a small investment of gold.
That's so good. We're having a pretty big fight to start things off, and holy Nova! Be careful there, Batman. Von C just doing mad damage onto Old School. You gotta get back. They're burning down, and he will go down. First blood to Team Soul mid striking. And over here, it's actually Joseph trading with Flash, and Flash, one more attack would have found the kill. Would have found the second kill for Team Soul mid. Gabe Vizzle, Self Vanguard moves in. 1 punch, 2 punch. Looking for more. He's got to hold the lane here, so we'll have Old School making his way back out. These teams fighting quite a bit here early on. These teams fighting quite a bit here early on. Wouldn't you say, Scoundrel?
I said, yeah, they have this advantage in the early game, and they're using it so well to try and put pressure onto Joseph in the jungle. FlashX now forced to back away from Best Check. He's going to go into Joseph.
Forced to back away, but he jumps back in. Another 2-man. Holy Nova. Von C, he's grumpy. He's hangry. I Love Joseph is down. This is a Grumpjaw, dude. He's building weapon. What are you even thinking? Gabe Vizzle, make your retreat. Get out of here. Gabe Vizzle, no. Gabe Vizzle going down. Von C jumps forward one more time. Old School's there. Grumpy. FlashX gets in there, but it's Grumpjaw that finds the kill. TSM up 3-0.
Wow, what an early game start for TSM, and they're utilizing that jungle advantage they have so well, Humanist. And it's C9 making the moves. Like, TSM aren't even engaging this. They are trying to put pressure onto Flash on the retreat there, but C9 are taking these fights, and TSM are gladly accepting it with open arms. Von C again, 3-0-0 on weapon power Grumpjaw at 3 minutes into the game. Couldn't have asked for a better platform to give his team the potential to win here.
Of course he is. This is Von C on a weapon Grumpjaw, just having a field day, man. This is just like having your cake and eating it too. That hero, this build is one of the most fun to play in the game for sure.
Best Chuck working towards the alternating current. First item of choice for lane Adagio. Has denied that pick from Old School here as well. And in combination with Grumpjaw can help him put pressure onto those targets like Baron and Koshka in fights. You just have to imagine it. Grumpjaw goes in using Grumpy. Uses the Gift of Fire onto Grumpjaw, and then suddenly use the Agent of Wrath as well, and Grumpjaw hits like a truck, and somebody goes down. That is kind of the combo that we're expecting to see, and also FlashX able to provide that frontline barrier. If you thought that Grumpjaw reduced damage with Living Armor, wait till you see Grumpjaw reduce damage with Holy Shield and Living Armor. That guy's going to take nothing.
Yeah, that's not really cool when I think about it that way. That's a lot of damage reduction there.
That's a lot of damage reduction, Humanist. And that means that Von C can forego picking up super amounts of defense early. He obviously will pick up a little bit, but he can forego that for a bit of extra damage in the tank when it comes to his flat output. And that's why he's got Tension Bow now working towards what could be a... and you imagine with those components going towards what is probably going to be a Tyrant's Monocle, this is going to be a Grumpjaw that's going to be hitting hard, and hitting hard very quickly.
Oh, he's already hitting hard, and he's gonna pick up a reflex block. Really nice pickup for him. Von C, Grumpy. I wish he would have held on to that. But anyways, they're moving up here as 3. C9, TSM, both clumped up. C9 on the back foot, on the defense here. Gabe Vizzle will throw out a flare into the left mustache brush, just to make sure that he knows exactly what's going on. But it's Von C. He comes from the top side. He's stuffed up. Von C's got the angles into the Holy Nova. Old School will be able to jump jets backwards there, boosted out by Gabe Vizzle. And Gabe Vizzle holding the fountain there as well. What a smart play.
Yeah, absolutely, because he could have baited in TSM, who might have been eager to pressure a Baron on such low HP. But I love the combo that TSM thought up there. They've actually given a bit of space over to Joseph here.
Gotta be careful. Joseph was trying to do the damage, but Von C is like, yo, I'm still here, fam. Like, quit trying to make plays. I'm gonna go farm, but like if you try and mess with my lane, I'll be right back.
Chuck's just picked up his first item spike of the game. That alternating current didn't have that in the previous fight, by the way. Did result in potentially losing the kill on Old School as well. You just noticed that even despite that combo between the Holy Nova and the Stuffed, weren't able to get enough damage done to Baron before he was able to jump jets out. So, gotta remember, even then, when Baron overdrives jump jets, it'll be even more difficult to take out because remember, he will just be able to then get a free reflex block from using it. So,
yeah.
I think Chuck, will now have a bit more damage. This is where TSM can look to use that ultimate and get a bit more success with it. Now he's got that more powerful basic attacks coming from the alternating current.
It's kind of messed up because if you eat the Baron, you can't attack the Baron. That's Grumpy moving forward. Von C holding that ultimate right here, just chewing through Gabe Fizzle. Look at that. Holy Nova not gonna connect. It's Joseph making his way up into the lane. He's gonna go ahead and put some damage out onto Von C, but it's the Koshka who's been eaten up this time. Gauntlets down. Gabe Fizzle, no! He wants that one back. Von C's actually the one that goes down. Von C goes down. C9, they're back in. And the damage coming out onto Flash, you gotta respect that. First comes out from Best Chuck, doesn't quite connect here. And C9, they draw blood, and you can tell that they know they have the advantage here. Von C respawning now, but C9 are gonna look to get some damage out onto this turret. Flash jumps in with the benediction, lets the Holy Nova fly. Look at that area of effect damage coming out from Old School on this Baron, starting to put out pretty good damage. Is he gonna be rooted up? He gets the mid. TSM thinking about getting over to play some games, but Old School gets out at the end of the day.
Bonzi misses the Grumpy over the wall as well, but man, FlashX not being 6 in that engage was huge for C9. Somehow, somewhere along the line, Flash is given a little bit of experience, too much to Von C, and Gabe had managed to share a bit more. And Gabe being 6 has allowed him to get that gauntlet down as well, to put pressure onto Von C, had to force the reflex block out of him very early to get through it. And FlashX didn't have the heal, and he also used that fountain really late, Humanist. I think he was looking to get maximum efficiency with it, but the burst was too much. So the fountain, despite it going through onto Von C, was completely burst through by I Love Joseph and Old School.
So much happening at once. Can't keep track of it all. I'm glad I have you here to break it down at the end. Team solo mid, dropping down. They don't have vision. They don't even care. Von C is looking for a target. Old School melting, but they've turned on to Best Chuck. Best Chuck taking a lot of damage. Back onto Old School. Von C blocks off that YCP and stands his ground. It's a 1-for-1 trade at the end. Joseph has that move speed. Is he gonna think about getting back in there? Little pouncy fun. Jukes it out. He's in there. Joseph making the plays. And Von C will go down at the end of it. C9 playing with their food.
Oh, C9, I love the way they're approaching these teamfights. They're ignoring Von C for the most part, jumping straight onto Best Chuck at the end. And so, yeah, and then basically blowing Best Chuck up with Old School and I Love Joseph. And then somehow, post-killing both carries, Von C has lost his potential to duel versus I Love Joseph. 1v1, I Love Joseph now working towards a broken myth, doing a lot of damage with that aftershock, and suddenly he's got that upper advantage when it comes to taking on Grumpjaw in a 1v1 situation, despite that level advantage for Von C. Von C didn't have any energy at the end of that fight as well, so that might have been an issue for him, but right now, C9 taking the advantage in these teamfights. FlashX also a level behind Gabe Bizzle, almost 2 levels behind Gabe Bizzle.
I love these matchups. Net worth very even for both of these teams as we approach the 10-minute mark of this game. 4-3. Kill score in favor of TSM at this point. Both teams really doing a good job back and forth. TSM, I think, had C9's number early on, and C9 kind of flipping the script here in the last few minutes. We will see Shatterglass come out for Best Chuck, and he's going to pick up an Infusion as well. Yeah, level 8 Infusion coming out. So this is TSM realizing, like, yo, it's time for us to, like, actually stand our ground if we get into a skirmish here.
Yeah, double infusions on all carries, by the way. Von C, Best Chuck, Old School, and I Love Joseph. But Von C's very close to falling out, so this might force TSM's hand when it comes to the next team fight, because they want to make use out of that level 8 infusion they have on Von C, which was falling off before that of C9. So they might want to fight with that. It looks like they are just going to give it up and try and play a bit more passive for the duration of those infusions on C9. Von C would, I think ideally Von C, now that the piercing is there for Joseph, it might be better for him to consider some shielding, maybe work towards finishing that Aegis. Now he's got the Tyrant's Monocle, even though he's got the Holy Shield from the Grace, even though he's got the Living Armor there.
Don't you just lose though?
Yeah.
don't mean to burst your bubble here, but you're dealing with the Baron.
No bubble burst. There's, TSM realized, I think, that they're on a timer in this situation. They always have that potential to burst Baron with Von C and Burst Chuck able to get onto him, but it's quite difficult to lock down a Baron, especially when he's overdriven those jump jets like Old School has now.
Mm-hmm.
So this is going to be even harder for TSM to sort of put pressure onto C9, especially their backline.
Old School, what a talent! I think we got to take a moment and appreciate what Old School gives us. As far as just entertainment value, what a reliable and dependable, talented player. Old School jump jets up at the lane. He's going to continue to make sure he's getting as much farm as possible. Just a really, one of these players, I think that he's just consistently always in the top tier. Just Mr. Reliable.
He's just consistently good. You'd say the same probably of Best Chuck, but Old School has just shown time and time again that he's consistently very, very talented on a wide range of heroes as well. Probably got one of the largest hero pools for the lane, I think, out of a lot of North American laners.
Yeah, I think definitely we see a little bit more surprises out of Old School now. Benediction and forward Flash X is going to whiff on the Holy Nova. A holy whiff. And Old School continues to just get some basics out, trading pretty good damage. I hear an ion cannon, and that's not going to connect. It's going to be okay. Another jump in. Holy Nova either blocked off or not quite connecting there. And Old School, that's going to be his Aegis on cooldown. Got to be careful here, bud, as we move in the next few moments.
I think it's worth noting that Old School has Aegis. At this stage of the game as a Baron, has prioritized it over an offensive item like his Tyrant's Monocle, because he is just scared of that damage coming out from Best Chuck. He is really respecting the fact that he needs the reflex block and the shielding as well. This is very unusual for a Baron to prioritize a defensive item like this so early on, but Old School makes a very sensible decision to do so here.
He's a sensible man. And really, that's why I was kind of singing his praises right there. Just super smart plays. Now, Von C, they're going to get the gold miner and they're take Gabe Fizzle, pull him back. He's going to block off the Holy Nova. And with the Self Vanguard, can he get himself out of here? He turns around, drops the gauntlet. It's a big fight. Best Chuck winds up the verse. It's going to come through. They've taken out Old School. They get Joseph as well. Can they get Gabe Fizzle? Double kill for Best Chuck as Team Solo Mid just completely turn it up.
Man, and that's the first time TSM have found a fight where they are playing on top of an area where Best Chuck can land a team-wide burst of judgment. Massive impact. That turned the fight on its head. Just the fact that he was able to channel it and impact every single member of C9 there. TSM finally finding their way into this fight. There's Shatterglass obviously boosting the damage of that burst of judgment by a huge amount as well. Turned away for a second and you missed the conclusion of that. I mean, C9 probably felt comfortable, but man, that was so quick from TSM.
Man, C9 fans in chat, just broke back. Failed fish, not like this. TSM dropping the Craigasms, the Pog champs. Doing it for the fans right now. And making the big plays. That was a huge play. Now, they're a little late up to this turret, and C9, they're going to grab it. C9 strike back real quick. Ion Cannon's going to come down. Should connect on the Best Chuck. Not going to do too much as, well, how about a Divine Intervention? It's actually pretty significant heal already in the game.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about, we used to talk about Lyra Adagio as the double heal. It does feel like Adagio Grace is going to become the new iteration of that. Very strong single target heals from Best Chuck and Flash X, and especially as this game progresses, the longer and longer this game goes, the easier and easier it is to keep a key target alive for TSM. Gift of Fire only going to get more powerful. Flash X probably going to shove 3 points into the the Divine Intervention. They're going to go straight for Kraken here, and actually C9 are backing. The two key carries from C9 are backing. Is this going to be enough time now for TSM to take this without contest?
Dude, you have Gabe Fizzle here, okay? This is a contest already. 3 versus 1. You better respect this man.
But I think that the key point is there that TSM didn't have vision to know whether C9 were in position to contest. That might have not just been Gabe Fizzle in terms of TSM's eyes. That might have been the entire C9 roster.
Oh, Gauntlet's gonna stun up Best Chuck right here. A nice Holy Nova, though. They come out with the first and should be blocked off. Or did it connect on the stun? Best Chuck stands his ground, gets the heal, the Divine Intervention. They've lost Old School and now on to Joseph. Run, Joseph, run. He can't get away. Pouncy Fun buys him a little bit of time to move speed, but Crystal Sentry joins the party, gets the kill. It goes to Best Chuck. Best Chuck continues to push the lane down and flash right back to business on the Kraken.
Oh, double Tyrant's Monocle finish with Von C. His single target damage, the critical strike. So good for him this point in time. But I think you've just reached that stage in the game now where the single target heal, the ability to keep someone alive and a very impactful member of TSM alive is just too strong.
Imagine if it was an Ozo.
Weird, just insane sustain, man. Just insane sustain.
How you pull that out of nowhere? Just catch you off guard. Gabe, no! Gabe, no!
It's like the ending of an anime. You're like, no, Gabe.
I got sucked into like quicksand there, or something. Yeah, Gabe goes down, bro. He didn't have any items really at his disposal there. Valiant effort, but this is going to put C9 even further on the back foot.
I also think that old school prioritizing Aegis means that he has lost a large acceleration towards his 4-item build, Humanist. You know, that big hitting Baron build that we know that old school would have liked to have pulled out. Suddenly he's not doing that level of damage because he had to prioritize the Aegis. I like the fact that he did it, but C9 are trying to fight without Baron at 4 items and he's not going to put that same level of damage out.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I don't like that he did it. We'll see, though. Old school, much better player than I. Jump Jet's back. He's going to get the double attack off. A lot of damage coming out here. 1C, you got to get back, but the gauntlets down. Best Chuck stands his ground. With the first comes out, it's going to be blocked off. They don't find the stun they need, but Best Chuck turns around, finds the damage, takes out the Kashka, and now Old School will fall as well. Gabe Vizzle, last man standing, and he's stuffed up. Nom, nom, nom. TSM, they're going to play with their food here. How about a Holy Nova for style points at the end as Kraken continues to march down these Vein Crystal turrets, and Team Solomon coming out strong here in Game 1.
Wow, TSM, they just found that point in the game where their single target heal and ability to keep those key targets alive through the Baron burst, through the Koshka burst was just too good. C9, the analysts were right, TSM had this draft out in a nut, and they have completely run away with it as well. Couple of early game spikes for C9, but man, Humanist, TSM played this as blinder.
Yeah, I don't know what all your British sayings mean, but